and Johnny Northcutt, Dallas Goddard.
Also, we just got followed randomly. Shout out to Deegs04 who followed like right as I was going live.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on there.
Added.
Me and Dan on the call. Sent now. BLN. I don't actually know if CMAS is live yet. We'll figure it out together. He is not, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll give people a minute to get in here. So you play Cloud.
I do play Cloud.
That's kind of fun. That's kind of like it's kind of an interesting matchup.
Well, that was the last loss of my season, right after I lost back-to-back 2-0 games. And that really pissed me off, that game, because it dug me into a big hole, and I felt like I could have won that game, really blew it. So I want that game.
I like that. We've got revenge. Hi, Phil! Phil's in here. If my audio sounds way better than it did last time I streamed, and if like the general stream quality is way better, that's because I actually like have Wi-Fi this time. I'm not holding this together with band-aids and prayer, so we can actually get a stream.
I thought I'd come say hi, see how you're doing.
Oh my goodness, Phil! How are we?
How are you doing, Brian, brother? How are you doing, Daniel?
It's so good to hear.
What's up?
I'm doing fantastic.
What's up?
How you feeling?
I met Morty in London the other week. It was very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice to stay out. And yeah, I'm actually pretty ill at the moment, so I won't stay here long. I just thought I'd come in and say hi.
Well, I appreciate you, Phil. Do you want to give me like quick thoughts on your playoff matchup? I'll be honest, you played Dahooty. You played Dahooty. How are we feeling about that?
Not great. I didn't know who I played, so I have no idea. Playing Dahooty is just frustrating. Like you just gotta hope your AI gets block sheds. Otherwise, you're fucked. Basically, it's my experience. So yeah. I will head out now. Nice to speak to you both. Have a good.
Very wonderful.
And thank you for doing commentary. It's very much appreciated. I will be watching as much as I can.
Sounds good. I'll give you some shout outs. Try to. Cheers. I am just now realizing that CMAS said he was running 5 minutes late, so that's
okay.
That's on me. I jumped the gun. But you know what, Dan? We can talk a little bit about some playoff football, because it's right down the pipe. I don't know, we may be waiting on a Cody Nico game. We may not. I don't know. But this might be the last game before we get into the playoffs. I want to know, and other than your game, honestly, because that would be the obvious answer, but like, which matchup, because I think they're all set except for who the 7 seed is in the NFC. Like, which matchup are you most excited to watch from a neutral perspective?
From the NFC, I'm really excited to watch you versus Ben. That'll be a fun game. I think you won division for the first time in the cycle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
And then Alex and if he plays either Morty or Agenda, that should be a good game. Alex and Morty, 2 OGs battling it out. I don't know how well they fared against each other lately, but Morty did take a couple forced losses, as we just talked to Phil about why. And that should be a really good matchup. If he plays Agenda also beat him, so that would also be a very good matchup as the 2v7. So that would be a competitive game, I'm sure. As far as AFC goes, honestly, Little is going to probably smoke Troy. I mean, Troy does like to pound the rock. He can make it competitive if he plays a really perfect game. So, but I mean, you would probably favor Alex, but it is the playoffs. Phil and Dahooty. I like Phil. I mean, he's 13-4, division champ. Division champ in a division with Warren. That's pretty significant. And Warren versus, I think, King. Yeah, Warren's gonna throttle him.
Yeah, it's there's been a lot of talk about how NFC is conference full of milkmen, this, that, and the third, but I would say in general, I would say our playoff matchups, at least for the wild card, are far more interesting than the AFC. Maybe that's because we're all trash. We're all just like a bunch of bums trying to fight it out. That's very possible. But as far as me and Ben goes, yeah, it's going to be, there's obviously some history behind that matchup. It's going to be fun. He did clap my cheeks week 1 this season, beat me by like 3 touchdowns. So there's a little bit of a revenge factor I'm looking for that. But Ben, obviously he's assembled a really good team. He's been playing really well. A defending Super Bowl champion from 2 seasons ago, who seems to have kind of refound his form a little bit after a bit of a disappointing last season. And I feel like right now is probably about the best I've been playing all cycle. Has been this season, these past few weeks. So I am hoping to give him my best. Dealing debts, aka Matt, aka Tank with the tier, and Wozy with the subscription. Oh my goodness, my CEO reign is off to a great start. The money's rolling. The subscriptions are rolling in. Thank you all so much for those, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, Wozy, if you want to hyperboy up, feel free, get in here. But as far as you versus Cloud goes, I really like. Cloud to me is such an interesting, especially a playoff user, because he'll just like throw the kitchen sink at you. He's a very kind of odd player in terms of his play calls. You don't really know what you're going to get. You can definitely kind of like read him a little bit play to play, because he doesn't have like a ton of play call variety, but he's got a very kind of interesting scheme. Although I do think his guy Nick Armstead's out, right, for the playoffs. Yeah, so that's...
Is he? Oh, that would be big.
I think Cloud might have mentioned, he might be. Regardless, that'll be fun. And then Agenda, I think Agenda and Morty are both capable of beating Alex. I probably would give, between the two, I'd probably give Morty the slightly better shot purely because of the team. I think, Morty's one of the few users who has the team to match up with Alex, but either of those I think would be competitive. On the AFC side, as I pull up Neon real quick. Also, Wozy, you in here yet?
I am in here.
Let's go, baby. So how are we feeling about this Packers-Bears game? Hyperboy up?
Man, I've been hyping Agenda up all season, because when he first came in, he got the treatment of this guy is just dog. He ain't going to be anybody. Started off his first 5 games, I believe, 1-4. And then all of a sudden it clicked. Him and I decided that we were going to get on the Mutt grind, because we were tired of Mutt players doing things to us that we didn't know what they were doing.
Sure.
My season doesn't show it as much, but he definitely turned his around and finding out exactly what helped his team excel. What you guys are looking at here is a guy that went over half of his season in Better League. I wouldn't say maybe over half, but he ended up losing Will Levis and had to try to ball out with Sean Clifford. Not an easy task to do. Agenda is a very favored to a mobile quarterback, so he did have that going for him. But Sean Clifford couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a banjo. It was terrible. But he got it together. He's been dealing with injuries on the wide receiver side. He's lost Christian Watson for a few games. Not long tenures, just like a half a game or something like that. Jalen Reed was out for a few games. He's just been able to piece everything together. And if I'm not mistaken, he did take CMAS in the first game of their meeting, right?
He did. Yeah, that was a game where you were like, you were hyped up. You played me right after, and you did beat me. But yeah, that was a fun watch.
I will say he got technically a free win against Dan. Dan was beating him, so if that game stood still, we might not be in the position that we're in right now. He has lost his last 2 to Gamble and Jesse. So tough losses there. Jesse's a great opponent. So is Gamble. Gamble was just on another level that game. He scored 51 on him. He held Alex to 6 points, which definitely is not an easy feat. Did get a force win against Morty, which could affect Morty's playoff run. Agenda loses, Morty's in. But Agenda wins, Morty's screwed because he had to give up that force. I don't know if he had any other games if Morty had any games that went in his favor to kind of even that out. But as it stands right now, I'm going to put a final prediction score in right here.
Talk to me.
I think that this is going to be a ball-out game for both of them. I think CMAS knows what's on the line for him of not going 0-2 to Agenda in the season. He's not concerned about a draft pick. I think CMAS is going to drop 38 points in this game, while Agenda is going to drop a 50 burger and get 51 points. I think he's going to do it.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, I see a very heavy passing game from CMAS. I think the one thing that's on his mind is getting Corbin Caldwell the best stats as possible today to try and get that X factor. I know him. I know that's what he's thinking about today. And he's trying to play spoiler. And Agenda's been playing very well. I do agree with you, Wozy. I really liked his gun bunch scheme against me in that game. Obviously, I was winning, but he made it pretty competitive. So it was a fun game. Should be fun to play.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, Agenda and I have played each other twice. We split our games. They were both, like, very similar where, like, neither of us could move the ball at all. Like, we were both struggling mightily on offense, and we both kind of, like, it seemed like had each other read on defense. Or at least I had him read for the first 7 quarters we played, and then he dropped like 21 in the fourth quarter, came back against me in our second game. But it's going to be a really, really interesting matchup between these two. I completely agree with both of you. I do think it's going to be a shootout. Even if it's not like a shootout in terms of points, it's going to be a shootout in terms of both these guys being very, very pass-heavy. You're right, Dan. He wants to get Corbin Caldwell stats. And frankly, running against this Packers D-line is a shaky proposition anyway. Like, even if you were a more run-heavy user, you kind of... the way the Packers defense is constructed kind of forces you to go pass-heavy, which is something I'm obviously not super comfortable with. That's why, that's part of why I struggle so much with Agenda. But we have a few takes here in the chat. Phil saying Agenda sounds like a fraud. A lot of force wins where Madden Gifted wins. He's not a fraud on defense, Phil. I saw that firsthand. Alan saying Morty is the team you do not want to play in playoffs. Trust me, that's facts. And Matt just saying a frauda. A frauda. Love that. But, Wozy, this game's about to start, but do you have any final takes, any final things you want to say before we get this going?
I'll give some keys to victory here. I think keys to victory for CMAS's side is take care of the ball, don't throw dumb picks. That's going to be your big downfall. As you've seen his defense, or you've seen Agenda's defense. They will strike. Of course, if he has the ball in his hands on offense, he's not afraid to pass. So, keys to victory is to take care of that ball. Run that rock if you have to. He does, there is a very scary D tackle on the Packers side, so watch that. Make sure that when you are getting your yards, you're not taking short game. You're going to have to get some chunk plays against Agenda. Those are going to be my keys to victory for CMAS. And then on the other side of the ball for Agenda is to make sure that you are not calling too similar of plays, because CMAS is a smart guy. He's been around here for a long time. He will pick up, and he will pick it up quick. So whether it's drags or corners or posts, anything like that, he will read that and he will pounce on that quick. Get the run game established as well. That way you're versatile, because I know CMAS is able to play good defense in the passing game. Those are my keys to the victories for each team. I don't have anything else to say. I'm going to be a spectator for this, and we'll see how this goes.
I appreciate you, Wozy. Much love. And we can see right there CMAS is looking at all these superstar players. Both of these front sevens are just really, really tough to deal with. A lot of this game is going to be won in the trenches, not just in terms of run blocking when they do have to get their 10 rushes in, but in terms of which offensive line can hold up when it comes to shutting down the pass rush. That's going to be a huge decider in my opinion in this game.
I agree, Connor. Just want to say, Wozy did a great job with that analysis. I mean, he should come into the booth more often. Be color calm. That was fun.
He's calm. So he calmed a game with me, I think, back in Madden 21. It was some random playoff game, and then he was in the booth for a Super Bowl. And I agree. Yeah. He's a good commentator when he hops in. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the biggest game of Agenda's Better League career. One of the bigger, spectating games of Morty's career. It is Green Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears in Soldier Field in Chicago. I am your play-by-play man for the evening, Connor Rice, and we've got a great one on our hands. Joining me, of course, as always, is Dan, the Bucs user. How we feeling?
Hey, Connor, I'm glad to be here. I mean, this is a great game, a great preview of the playoffs. We got 13 people in here to watch Agenda, a guy no one really knows that well. And in the biggest game of his BL career, with playoffs on the line, he's got to win this game under the bright lights of commentary football. This is going to be great.
This is, I believe, the first time that Agenda's ever been featured on Better League Network. He was, of course... This is not his first go-around in the Better League. I think he was the Texans in Madden 20, Dan, you may have to correct me on that. He was definitely the Texans at one point.
Yeah. I mean, no one could tell me. Everyone told me contradictory things. So as far as I'm concerned, this is his first go-around in the records.
We have a handoff to Tony Pollard here to start off for 5 yards. And, CMAS is definitely someone who likes to match personnel. You come out in a 3 wide receiver set, he's going to come out in nickel or dime. You come out in a 2 wide receiver set, more tight ends out there, he will come out more of a base defense, and it's just going to be, again, how well can, I hate to keep repeating myself already, how well can this Packers offensive line hold up against an elite pass rush, an elite run-stopping unit in the Chicago Bears? We'll have to see. And like Wozy said, this is a game that Agenda won the first go-around, so CMAT's looking for revenge. Another handoff here, Tony Pollard cuts out Pollard, tries to fall forward, is able to do so the first down of the game.
Yeah, good blocking there. And I don't know, does CMAS have any inside stuff? I'm not entirely sure. Most likely,
I think he does.
He traded for one.
I feel like he does.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first thing you got to do is try and double team that inside stuff. Make sure he's not as much of a factor in the play as possible, because he will blow that up.
Cam
we know that for
believes
sure.
Inside stuff. We have an immediate dump off here. Tony Pollard with his 3rd straight touch gets stood up and thrown down. Will Levis, former Kentucky Wildcat, is in the game here for these Green Bay Packers, and we're seeing a conservative approach so far, and it's been working. Agenda's Alexandra Daddario. I'm gonna have to be a lot nicer to Agenda then. I had no idea, ladies and gentlemen. Whew! Shout out True Detective. If you know, you know. 2nd and 3 here, as again he will drop back, has kind of an angle route going. Instead, takes the dump off, takes the drag. Romeo Dobbs with his first touch and his first down.
Yeah, it looks like Agenda's gonna dink and dunk, take what the defense gives you. It's a perfect thing to do as a Madden player, and obviously CMAS in the cover 4 quarters. Why not just take a drag up the middle?
Exactly. Make it as easy on yourself as possible. You can see up there 4 blinkers already. Sends the house and it will not get through, but Will Levis feeling the pressure of 2 Bears bearing down on him there with an inaccurate pass, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was just some good pressure there. CMAS sending the pressure. And Will Levis, not the highest rated quarterback, so he's prone to throw some bad balls, especially on sim mode.
Absolutely, he'll give you a couple every game. I saw in both of my games against Agenda. I saw a couple horrible misses by Will Levis in each of those 2 games. So we'll see what he's able to do here. Kind of a tight concept. Here's Will Levis. Will once again drop back, has crossers going, takes it up the middle, intercepted by Thompson. And will this be a pick 6? No one will catch. Thompson, pick 6, Chicago.
Wow, just under pressure and then just throws it up the middle. Kind of a panic throw there, and I think the San Francisco is showing a little celebration over there watching that on TV.
I mean, what do you think Morty's definition of going crazy is? Maybe like pumping his fist a little bit? I don't know.
Yeah, fist pump, maybe sipping on some drink, just is satisfaction more than just like, see,
If he's really feeling himself, he'll let out a woo, maybe. 7-0 Chicago, and that is just about, especially getting the ball to start this game, that is just about the worst possible start, because in my opinion, and this is why I always say that I think kicking the ball off to start the game is such an advantage, because now you've got the possession disadvantage. CMAS is, has that extra possession in the second half. You're already like way behind the curve here if you're Agenda, so gotta just lock in right here.
Yep, and until we move to 10-minute quarters, I'm waiting for Alex to alpha that. He wants to alpha everything else except for the one we want the most. When you're 8-minute quarters, you're going to get less possession. So obviously that possession advantage with the kickoff of the second half is much more important.
That's a play a lot of people like, and he will go down. Both edges get through. They'll each be credited for half a sack. That fake jet halfback seam that CMAS did bite on, but just not enough time to get that throw off.
Yeah, I never like those kinds of plays. You're just asking to get sacked. Especially you can't hot route anything. You can't just make a little check down. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. It's boomer bust for sure, and I've seen it work very well. Sometimes that happens too, and already way up against it. Here's Agenda in a playoff must-win game as he will drop back, takes a shot, and that is going to be way out of bounds there. Just nothing open. Had to get that ball off, and we have 3rd and a mile here.
Yeah, we sometimes talk pocket presence. That was not good. You just can't drop back 20 yards. You're not going to find anyone there. Just step up a little. I don't think there was much pressure. He just kind of didn't see anyone and kept dropping back.
Yeah, I mean, he saw there was an edge blitz being sent. It got picked up pretty well, but I think just the fact that there was a blitz coming may have had him a little shook, because we have PA crossers here, as he will go down once again. Hassan Reddick, for the second time, making his presence felt. Only a 4-man rush, but damn near an insta-shed, and this is about the worst possible start if you're an Agenda fan.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as good as he looked on the first drive, right before the pick, that was not good. I mean, to play action on 3rd and long, I just don't see how that's going to be really effective.
Dom Monk, the return specialist, they're able to take over about 5, and now we will see. Now, one of Wosey's keys to the game has to take care of the ball, especially against this lethal Packers defense. We'll see if CMAS is able to do so. Corbin Caldwell, the man with brittle bones who seems to never get injured anyways. We're going to have a deep shot here to start off. Instead, no, he's going to take the check down. Quick read to Kenneth Walker, gain of 5.
Yeah. Did the little Ben approach, just showed blitz, sending all the safeties down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to see that, I'm sure, a lot in your game, your wild card matchup.
Yeah, but, I'm already kind of preparing myself mentally. It's not fun to go against, but we move. It's okay. Corbin Caldwell with a play-action screen as Monk has room. No, Monk is going to get tackled at the last second there by one of those defensive linemen, and now we have a 3rd and 3. 2 interesting play calls here from Chicago. Yeah,
I mean, just getting Dom Monk in space, best player on his team, best playmaker on his team, the 99 speed AI guy. I don't hate it. Just didn't work out.
So we'll go to the RPO. It is DJ Moore with room. DJ Moore jukes a man. Moore almost able to get it to the red zone. Made a couple Packers miss and turned what honestly could have been a loss of yards into a big gain.
Yeah, those RPOs, man. Yeah, sometimes they just pop open.
Mm-hmm. It seems like, the wide receiver, downfield blocking is always immaculate on some of those RPOs. It's very strange. Like, no matter who it is, this is a classic CMAS concept here. So he may take the shot. Instead, no, Caldwell's going to step up. Gets gang tackled by 2 Packers there. A little worried that there's going to be a fumble. Now, Corbin Caldwell comes up talking shit, throwing hands, doing all that.
Yeah, for the past 4 years, if you see CMAS and gun tight, that play's going to happen. You know the tight end's going to be on a hitch, the right side receiver's on a drag, and he's going to quick snap it.
And that's the thing, what Wosey was saying, CMAS may be able to read some of the Agenda's more predictable reads. I think the same is true. CMAS can be a little bit predictable here. So we have a quick blitz and a shot to Cole Kmet. He will fall in. Touchdown.
Yeah, nice play by CMAS, setting the tight end on the seam route. I saw Agenda wiggle his safety at the top. I thought that was going to tell that he was usering, but he usered off of it. Once CMAS saw there was no user there, just easy pitch and catch for a touchdown.
Easy pitch and catch. Yeah, we saw some classic CMAS play calls, some CMAS dots, and already 14-0 here. I hate to, this early in the game, I hate to call this like a must-score drive, but just based on the momentum of this game so far, it's as close to a must-score drive as I can think of in the first quarter. But what I was going to say before CMAS so rudely interrupted me with a touchdown is CMAS can sometimes be a bit of a predictable play caller as well. So we'll see if Agenda is able to kind of pick up on that. But so far, one offensive drive for Chicago, touchdown now. Agenda, take it back over. Has to get something going, like I said, as he will do his own RPO as the stretch hits here. Tony Pollard tries to fall forward, goes for the strip animation. Got to watch out there, but Tony Pollard with his sure hands keeps possession.
Yeah, so CMAS just sell out on the RPO with his user on the bubble. Just can't trust your AI guys to cover that. It's just impossible.
You sure don't, as we have a dive up the middle here, which is usually spells death against CMAS, but able to get some nice blocking there, about a gain of 5. And let me get real quick, as I always do, to everyone in this chat here. We got Ben, we got CMAS listening in, of course, Dan. We got Matt, we got Alan, Boz, Phil, Wosey, Nick. I appreciate you all, as we have a play-action concept here. You do not want to force it. He does not. Instead, Tony Pollard fight for his life just to get a gain of 2.
I hate that, man. You see that all the time, these drag routes. They're getting covered, and then at the last second, the defender just cuts inside and just lets them open. Just a lot of logic on defense in this game.
It's so dumb. Yeah, that happens a lot in this Madden, seemingly. As we're going to have, again, CMAS loves sending these man blitzes and usually doesn't disguise it, so you got to be aware of it here. So we're going to have, again, more play action. Will we see a deep shot? No. Instead, once again, he's going to dump it off to Tony Pollard. Pollard gets cut stuck, as that'll be a 3rd and 3, but little too play action heavy here from Agenda, in my opinion.
Yeah, you gotta kind of get away from that. If he's blitzing, if he's gonna get contained off the edge, sometimes he'll come free and sack you, especially under a pass commit situation. Mm-hmm. So I agree, he's got to get out of that.
Got to get out of it. Is Thompson running around making it very obvious who the user is? Got to be aware of that. This will likely be the last play of the first quarter here, barring an incompletion. Series of adjustments here from Agenda. Now he will drop back. Quick zig route of Watson. Able to get the first down, and that will end the first quarter. It's been all Chicago so far, but Agenda trying to put a comeback effort together.
Yeah, it was good timing on that zig. It's pretty much the only moment he could have thrown that with the defender there that wasn't a bad decision. So, good job on that.
No, not at all, yeah. I was a little worried because sometimes, you throw those a second early, you throw those during the cut, sometimes it can get kind of stupid where the wide receiver just doesn't react. You see that a lot on wheel routes as well, but able to hit it this time. And Green Bay, again, kind of going back to their pre-interception mentality, pre-interception strategy from the first drive, just very conservative, just dink and dunk, no reason to take any risks, just kind of salt the game away here. So we're going to have a read option. Will Levis is going to take it. Will Levis has room. Mayonnaise all over the stadium is being thrown. And we have a gain of 21 for Levis.
Yeah, you got to show that at least once. QB on the read option. Mm-hmm. We know how crazy those QB read options go. So now CMAT's got to stay conservative on that. Got to play the quarterback. It's going to happen again.
I did not see him make the adjustment, so maybe just not thinking about it, but he will drop back once again. Good usering, although he's going to throw it to Reed, and Reed able to catch it, and now gets a first down and more. Reed with a tackle battle, gets tackled by 3 Bears, but I thought it was a risky read, but he did a nice job clicking on and kind of undercutting the route.
Yeah, that was a good job by him. Outside of a couple of bad calls on offense, he's been doing really well. Mm-hmm. He's taking what the defense gives him. And, not committing turnovers.
4-man rush gets in, and he threw it right to Collins, but Reed once again able to get it, gets thrown down at the 1-yard line, and now your whole playbook's available to you. And this, honestly, is where I struggle to score the most, is like when the field gets compressed like this. But real quick, Morty is in the chat, just putting some eyes in now. Just putting some eyes. He's here. He's watching. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Morty has rooting interest in this game. If the Chicago Bears are able to see this through, it will be Morty's 49ers, the Morty Niners, that get into the 7 seed and will play Alex then in the 2-7 game. And then obviously if Agenda wins, he punches his ticket in. I'm sorry, Dan, I'll get to you in 1 second, but come down empty here. Got to be aware of the QB power, QB blast. I've seen him run that a couple times. It is exactly that. Will Levis gets depleted.
Yeah. You see QB empty at the goal line, you know what's coming. It's going to be some kind of draw or blast. CMAS did a good job to pinch that D-line, crash it down, and not let that get into the end zone.
Pinch the D-line, and that was also the one time he did not double-team Cam Hayward, inside stuff Cam Hayward, and we saw why you should do that at all times right there. Just a vicious hit on Will Levis, and now 2nd and goal. Gotta get 7 here. 3 is not an option as he again makes serious adjustments. I would not be afraid to run it again, honestly, as long as you have Cam Hayward double teamed, obviously. Kind of motioning him around, trying to see what the defense is. He will go. RPO, as I thought that was shot down instead. Pollard will walk in, touchdown.
Yeah, good play there. Yeah, that was that RPO slant. So kind of a pretty good blocking on that. I feel usually, and the slant sometimes pops open. It's a pretty powerful play.
That's a play that Dehudi ran against me a couple times in red zone situations in our last game. Torched me with it. I mean, it's very hard, because you're sitting on the bubble so much that you sometimes you overcommit to it, and then the slant's wide open. You just don't guard it. But 14-7, we'll see if Dom Monk has room. He does, and somehow, and he's going to take it out. Again, the return man, Dom Monk, breaks tackle, not able to do a ton. As for the first time, Chicago forced to kind of put an actual drive together. We'll see if they're able to do so.
Yeah, it's he had a pick 6, and then he had a
short field.
But he had good field position.
Yeah, he was at
start the other one.
He was at midfield, on the other one. Gotta watch 99 speed Dom Monk over there on the outside. If he gets a good release, this is a lob and this is a touchdown. See, at the last second backs him up.
Absolutely.
Making a series of adjustments here. is Corbin Caldwell. So he will do a little pin pull sweep concept. Kenneth Walker gets stonewalled by Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, it looked like he checked a run when he saw that corner back up, because we knew where that ball was going to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah, we sure did. Very hard to stop, and now four-man rush to get stuck on the line here is, woo, Corbin Caldwell, some jitters there, under pressure, even though it seemed like pretty clean pockets to me, but an under pressure sail drag route.
Does he not have Fearless?
Clearly not, because we just saw right there.
Yeah, that's an interesting ability decision.
Yeah, I'm putting Fearless on all my guys. He's going to run it on 3rd and 10. Kenneth Walker has to make one man miss. He does not. 4th and 3. Interesting decision here, as he is going to come out in no huddle. I'm calling timeout if I'm Green Bay. They do just that.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt he's going to go for it now.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste your coach's decision on something like this.
Yeah, I mean, there's something...
Especially with the...
With
especially with a really good D-line.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's the 3 yards are not nearly as guaranteed as they would be against most teams. Lindley, shreds off one tackle. Lindley gets to the 30, and, it was a horrific start for Agenda, about as bad as it gets, but he finds himself with the opportunity to kind of tie the game here, and he's shown some heart here. He's not out of this game at all.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of life in this game. He's done a good job of, hanging in there.
Look out, a beautiful user and an interception by Edmonds.
Oh, my God, let me bite my tongue. Right, just saying how he's hanging in there, and then throws the slant. I think, was that the RPO slant again?
It was it was a different play technically, but it was an RPO slant, and I mean, CMAS just played that as perfectly as he can.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a hot user. That was a second user. He was all over that. Now we're going to see, again, another deep shot. A is wide open. He will hit A. Again, that was not an accurate throw, but, man, Caldwell's really kind of having some jitters here, because I've seen 2 now pretty clean pockets where he throws an under-pressure ball.
Yeah, and you see CMAS quarterbacks. They're very efficient. They always get a good QB rating, very high completion percentage.
Yes.
This is not that kind of game right now for Corbin.
Play-action boot as he will throw it off his back foot, still able to get it. A nice drag route there to Cole Kmet, who is an often-used weapon in this Chicago Bears offensive scheme, able to get the first here. Now, nickel double A gap, I run this up the middle every single day. The blocking seems to always set up, but instead, we're going to see a touch pass to DJ Moore, and DJ Moore with not a lot of room, tries to shut a man off. He will get thrown down for no gain.
Yeah. I noticed lately a lot of people run nickel double A gap and then take their safety down right up into the A gap, so kind of gets you off of that easy inside zone.
Yeah, and I suppose it's not as easy when you're in pistol. You don't have that just like straight inside zone to audible to, but yeah, as once again, man, really stacking the box here as Agenda, which he will do a lot. Sends the house and it gets blocked. Out route wide open. Dom Monk with his first catch and a first down.
I said it's one of those games where he doesn't have high completion percentage. He's like, what, 8 for 9?
It doesn't feel like he should have high completion percentage, but he does. So, sometimes that's the frustration when he plays CMAS, though, is like he'll make these last second, good reads where you're just like, man, like I was all over you and you're still able to get that throw off. But approaching the 2-minute warning here against Chicago, trying to reestablish control of this game as he is Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa, able to get the block shed. No outsiders doing some work there.
Yeah. I love when people go in high council and they debate on whether these things are like useless or not. I was like, that looked pretty useful to me.
It was pretty good. Pretty good ability. I mean, at the very least, it's a deterrent. It's a good ability. But 2 minutes remaining. Green Bay still with 2 timeouts. They can stop the clock 2 more times. A field goal is not the worst thing in the world here for CMAS, but obviously he's looking for 6. He's going to drop Quay Walker back into coverage. Corbin Caldwell is going to step up and run into the gap there and able to slide at the last second. Unsurprisingly, Green Bay with their second timeout.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't see anyone. He maybe had the running back on the dump off, but just good job of noticing, everyone was not in the middle of the field. No defenders there, so easy pickup.
Once again, come out nickel double A gap, and we are going to see an inside zone. I hope Agenda's ready. Because it is very easy to run against this look.
Just got to worry about the inside stuff, which he'll take care of that there.
He'll take care of that, and he'll have a wide open lane, and he'll have an easy touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that was the most predictable thing of all time with that look. That was a good job with the run user there. Able to find the right hole.
It's just, yeah, I mean, at this point in the cycle, you just have to know. Like, against really any gun look specifically, nickel double A gap is going to get you killed. Unless you either, like, bring your safety down, do some sort of, like, creative alignment. Like, that's going to happen every single time. And we saw it right there, 21-7, and now... You know, again, Agenda had a chance to really kind of take control of this game back. Instead, now multi-possession deficit. And again, Chicago's going to get the ball to start the second, so we'll see if Green Bay can keep this game manageable here.
Yeah, I mean, Agenda still has an opportunity. If he gets 6 here, he gets 7 here, he's still in great position to win this game. He's got to make a couple stops.
Play action shot to Watson. Terrell Edmonds already with a pick to his name gets the knockout there as he kind of undercut Watson as he jumped for that one. Now 2nd and 10, and I don't know. I don't think Tony Pollard. I think it's the first one free if I remember correctly that he has. So still definitely something you got to look out for. 5-man rush gets taken out, and Will Levis starting to sell just a little bit already with 2 picks to his name.
Yeah, it's one of those throws where you wish you had a better quarterback. Because maybe that would have made a difference there.
It might have, and I've heard. I think Cody was the first one who kind of made this point to me, where I was like, "Oh, you know, he's definitely right." Like once you throw a couple picks in Madden, you're gonna see more shaky throws just like that. You know, again, a wide open zig route that he was not able to hit. So we're gonna have a mountain pump go concept, pretty predictable. So he's gonna loft it up to Pollard, and down goes Will Levis. So geez. we might be seeing a little Sean Clifford action here soon. Yeah. But honestly, I mean, might be doing Agenda a favor here with how Will Levis has been looking.
Yeah, Sean Clifford's gonna get that Tom Brady moment. Just come in for the injured starter and just never look back.
Ball out. Yep. Go all the way to the Super Bowl with him as Dom Monk sheds one tackle, able to get it, and it really does feel like even a field goal here. I mean, Seamas would put himself in firm control of this game.
Yeah, and you just see that. I did watch Agenda play Jesse, and I know they're friends, and they but they played a very aggressive game. It was like pick trading. I think we were both watching that because we had much interest in the playoff picture at that time.
Ooh.
He has a very hit or miss offense. Very aggressive.
Yes, he does. Will Levis with a bruised shoulder, so we'll see if he gets back in there. Agenda, he can really turn it on, or it can look really ugly, like we're seeing right now. And I mean, part of it is Seamas, I think, has played a very good defensive game. We saw, not just with the user there, but I think he's just had the right play call for the right situation in general. But yeah, part of it is Agenda. I mean, the play calling has not been great either, if I'm being honest. Corey Caldwell's going to step up and hit the angle at the last second. Kenneth Walker gets the ball knocked out, one of those KO abilities, I believe, there by number 20, and we got 3rd down here.
Yeah, great user there by Agenda. He saw that angle route, but he was a little worried about Seamas taking off with the quarterback, but then so he kind of pulled off, and then Seamas threw it, but the DB was able to knock it down.
Yeah.
So good play on defense.
Played it about as well as you can, and now 3-man rush. We're going to have a shot to 99 speed Monk, and it will hit. Touchdown.
Yeah, that 99 speed just changes the game. You got to always make sure, there's defense back there to cover him, because one streak just changes the entire game and opens up the whole offense for him.
And man, Dan, I don't know how much you've been reading the chat. The Agenda slander is in full force here. We got Phil saying a fraudo. We've got them people roasting his internet. I mean, this is getting rough. This is getting borderline personal at this point. Gotta shut down the hate for your Agenda, and it starts with a touchdown drive right here.
I mean, what? We're just gonna trash the new guy, BL's become a very gatekeeping community.
Oh yes.
Just,
yes, it
just know, if you're not part of the community and an outsider comes in, you prey on their downfall.
It's hard to ingratiate yourself, man. It's really difficult. As Will Levis is going to step up and not take off, instead he's going to get thrown down by Chris Jones there. Just one of those 4 ability D linemen. We should be attacking Wozy instead of Agenda. Biggest hype letdown ever. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Ah, man, as Will Levis is going to drop back, gets screamed out once again, and way overthrows. I mean, that made sense that he was, like, getting sacked as he threw that damn near. But third and 11, I mean, Chicago could get another scoring opportunity here, potentially.
Oh, absolutely. This game could open up. But
man, the D tackle just absolutely screaming at Will Levis here. I mean, we were talking, Dan, about the Battle of the Trenches. On top of everything else, CMAS is winning that one tonight.
Yeah. And that play right there makes me believe that the best player on your team, regardless of what abilities he has, is your defensive tackle.
Absolutely.
Because if he gets an insta-shed like that, even on a double team, it can happen. He just completely takes over and disrupts the play.
Absolutely. And internal pressure, you see guys like you who, have incredible pocket presence are able to step up as long as there is kind of that internal lane to go through. A D tackle block shed, shuts all that down, forces you to roll out, forces you to throw quicker than you'd like. Give me a good D tackle over a good edge all day in Madden 24. All day.
100%.
We're going to have a slip screen here. Interesting play call. Just not a ton of room, although Kenneth Walker tries to make the most of it, not able to do a ton. Chicago not calling timeout. It looks like they're content to go to half here. Up 21, about to get the ball. Agenda praying on a miracle here. The Pats.
We're going back to like Madden 17 UFL Super Bowls. Like,
hey, listen, for some of us milkmen, yeah, you got to go back, baby. That's we got it. Oh man.
Everyone remembers their first time winning an online league.
Don't I, ladies and gentlemen. 28-7 is CMAS has dominated every facet of this game. CMAS said, do it for Morty. He's going to, try his best to win this game, despite not having a lane into the playoffs, and he's been doing just that. This is a quintessential efficient CMAS performance so far.
Yeah, and I don't want to really be that guy, but that game against Agenda, where I should have won that game, Agenda should not be in the playoff hunt right now. And really, it should be Morty should have already locked his spot in. But if Agenda, if he wants to earn it, he can certainly earn it, right? We're not going to hold that against him. But yeah, I think it would just be fitting if Morty made it.
I also
nothing personal or anything. It's just the way the cards.
I frankly think that Morty would have a better shot at making a run than Agenda would, and that's not out of any Washington bias. That's just me, again, unbiased. I think Morty would just have a better shot. But again, despite the 2-0s, despite some EA BS putting Agenda in this position, he is ultimately in this position, and he has looked very impressive at times. Like Will said, held Alex to 6 points in their first game. Was able to beat CMAS in their first game, but yeah, today it just hasn't materialized. And, the game's not completely over. He still has a chance if he can, force a turnover here, but it just hasn't materialized the way it would want. And now Corbin Caldwell's going to drop back. 4-man rush gets picked up. Another shot to 9 speed, Dom Monk, and he is gone once again.
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, Dom Monk making some cases for all-cycle team. Could he vault his way into the Hall of Fame if he keeps having games like this? He's been a big impact player so far in this game, and really for this Bears whole offense.
It's just it forces you to play defense differently than you would like to, right?
Yeah.
A 99 speed threat, you cannot press your corners, unless you have a 99 speed of your own. You cannot stack the box really, because it just it forces you to just play back, and that's when it allows you to kind of get those lanes with Kenneth Walker. He's able to really take his checkdowns to Walker, to Cole Kmet, guys like that. It's just for any user, but I think especially for a guy who plays like CMAS, I think it's just such a big weapon to have to deal with as he's gonna take a shot right to Collins. Is Will Levis? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I think someone spiked his mayo today because woo.
Yeah, I mean, I correct me if I'm wrong, but is there any kind of ratings adjustment if you come back injured during a game? Could there be some physical hit?
I honestly
with speed or arm strength or anything like that? I don't know. I mean, maybe Warren would know.
Yeah, that's like a Warren question. That's an awesome question. I know there is, so with like skill position players, I know they can like come back and be slower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like maybe there's something similar with quarterbacks, but I would hope it doesn't impact accuracy like too much. As we have a quick dump off here to Romeo Dobbs, he will just get the first down. Warren with some very simple yet very astute analysis. He's not throwing to open players. Yep.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Have you consider just?
I don't. All this play action is starting to piss me off.
Yeah.
CMAS is not going to bite on it. You're down 28. Like just.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're gonna have one tip, is just get out of the play action. Just audible the hot route the running back, take it away from the play, because
it's going to be a lot of no huddle here, a lot of deep shots. He's got to go quickly, and he's got to prey on CMAS to, I don't even know at this point, like throw like 4 picks. Like that's really what's going to take at this point in the game, because Chicago's look really good as we have. Oh my god. Bum bum ba-dum. Pew!
I don't know if anyone has.
Here comes Sean Clifford, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this, but like we don't have fatigue on right now because of that stupid update by EA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going no huddle every play doesn't really hurt you. Like you can.
Oh my god, I didn't even think.
There's
about that.
no fatigue impact on no huddle, right?
Oh, that's
so
toxic.
if you're down, just spam, right?
Oh, that's toxic as fuck. you know, Kumar would be loving life right now if he was still in the league.
Oh my god, yeah.
Imagine.
Holy shit.
Imagine. Little cover 3 buzz here. Sean Clifford's going to take a deep shot into coverage. Unsurprisingly swatted down. See, enters the game, takes a deep shot. I think we can start talking about this game in the past tense. This one's over.
Yeah. And I'll just say about pocket presence, if you step up on that throw, you can probably, like, on that little post, find it open, freeform it down, and, get it in there. But if you drop back 20 yards, you have no shot.
At the very least, buy yourself more time, maybe kind of let those wide receivers start running around like they tend to do, where the defense is just stupid. It takes a lot of patience when you're down 28 and you've been getting screamed at, so I understand, from Agenda's perspective why he didn't, but shout out to me, we have accounted to the left and Kenneth Walker. Yeah, that's fitting.
Oof. Kenneth Banyard?
Question mark? Don't disrespect Banner like that. Please don't do it. I mean, we're looking at 8 for 16 and you were like Kenneth Banyard. Yeah. You're canceled then.
Yeah.
We're looking for tweets.
I don't see Kenneth Walker getting 10,000 yards in 6 seasons.
No, certainly not. As unsurprisingly, we're going to see the Phil unit come out, but Phil making equally astute analysis saying the fundamental issue is that he's not scoring more points than the Bears. Yes, this is true. Oh my goodness, they have a kick block. No, we have a roughing the kicker. It just goes from bad to worse.
Oh my god, this is just not good. But at least we can talk playoffs and stuff.
Yes.
I do have a question, though. Mm-hmm. I do have a question for Phil. I forgot to ask this to Phil. He talked about meeting Morty, which is great. But I always want to know, when people meet each other, do they get toxic? Do they, get gossipy about the league? Do they just, or is it just I always wonder that. People...
I'll say this, and obviously I'm not going to get into specifics. That's between me and my Brighton brother. But we were a little catty during our meetup.
Yeah,
there was it was very like Gossip Girl energy between us.
Yeah, like Morty, maybe Morty was like, "Hey, I know you met Justin in Seattle. What's he really like?"
Oh wow.
And just stuff like that. What's little Alex like? What's
Phil saying, not in my experience, was very positive with me and Morty, less so with Connor.
Okay. I got you.
I think because we both had our partners with us. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
42-7. Yeah, we can start talking playoffs now. Let me pull Neon up. Let's just, what I want to do is I want to, talk about each matchup one at a time, and as we talk about them, I also want to get people's, predictions for each matchup in the chat. We can have a little interactive thing here. Morty is going to find himself in the playoffs with this one. We can start with the 2-7 matchup. It is going to be Alex versus Morty, which is, in my opinion, a very interesting one because in a way it's like looking at a mirror. You know, both of them have really solid teams. Both of them at times really struggle on the offensive side of the ball. And then both of them at times can look damn near unbeatable. You know, it really just kind of depends on like what you're getting any given day with those two. For me personally, I think that like more to saying facts. I think I would give probably Alex the very slight edge of Sean Clifford showing why he was not the starter initially. Although showing some heart, able to get it back. But I would give Alex the very slight edge, but I think it's going to be kind of an ugly game, honestly, from both of them. I would have it in the range of like 21-17 with like 6 combined turnovers.
Yeah, Alex has not played the best lately. I mean, he lost to Agenda. He lost to Alex by a long margin. You know, he got a 15-point win against Gamble, and then he kind of had this ugly game against Cam to win the division week 18.
Game, yeah. That was rough.
So Alex is not playing well. He does have the benefit though of just being a busy boy and not caring about BL and taking like 17 years to play his wild card game, so he can maybe wash that suckiness out as he has like 10 days to play his playoff game. But I think Morty will give him a good game. Honestly, Morty's record is he's only the 7th seed because he missed a few games. So really, practically speaking, he might even be the 5 seed. So I think Morty's a very strong opponent. So I'll say Morty. I agree with Alan. Like, you don't put Morty in the playoffs; he's going to be dangerous.
No, God no. I mean, I learned that firsthand last year, right? Like last season, he's very tough to deal with. Lev's going to drop back. Ends up hitting him. I thought that was another knacker pass, but yeah, I mean, I'm going with Alex, but like as far as 2-7 matchups go in the Better League, it's one of the on paper like easily one of the more competitive ones that we've had
absolutely
this cycle, if not moving forward. Warren saying Morty 44, Alex 27, Alan saying Morty's a contender. Yeah, I mean Morty's, no matter how he looks, and this is not saying like he's obviously looked pretty good this season, but like no matter how Morty looks, like you give him a big game, you give him a playoff game, you got to treat him with respect. Punch out force the attack. Y'all thought I forgot.
Oh man, I thought we were done with that. Are you home alone or something?
I'm home alone, baby. We're here.
Oh, there you go. We're
here. But yeah, you got to give Morty that respect at all times because he's very, very lethal user. I mean, we saw it in previous seasons where previous cycles where he would beat little Alex. Morty's saying if I don't make dumb user mistakes, I believe my OP team can carry me far. Yes. Again, like I said, one of the few users who can match up with Alex from a team perspective as well. Moving along from that, we can go now to the 3-6 matchup, which is I'm the 3 seed, right? Yeah, I'm the 3 seed. It's gonna be me versus Ben. Super Bowl 29 rematch. I mean, we've had a lot of big, regular season games together. Obviously, it's a rematch of a Week 1 game where he was able to beat me pretty convincingly. I'm not going to give too much because, obviously I'm playing in the game, but, how do you see that one going, personally?
I find that a very compelling matchup. I mean, you like, you guys kind of match up well with your schemes. It's going to be different because I played, oh my God, pick 6.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a different matchup from, say, my 2 games against Ben, because I played Ben twice at the end of the regular season, and I think it's going to be less of a shootout. I think you're going to try and control the clock with Johnny Northcutt. I think he's going to try and stuff your run as much as possible. Mm-hmm. I think Ben just has too many weapons. I probably have him in the game, not to offend you or anything, but I mean, his team's unbelievable. Like, especially on the offensive side, he has answers for everything. He can run it with Bijan, and Bijan is like a freaking tank. He is like freight train without anything activated. It's crazy. He just bounces off defenders. And Kyle Pitts is always going to be an option in the passing game, especially when he goes into those play actions and seam routes and everything like that. And then of course you got Drake London on the outside, high point monster. So I think Ben is going to be competitive. I think the only thing that might hold him back is the quality of his quarterback. as at least on offense. So I think I'll take the Falcons.
Yeah, I think a big key from me on defense is how are my linebackers slash, when I'm, come out and nickel or dime, put a DB on Kyle Pitts, like how are they able to contain him? Because, Kyle Pitts is just such a unique weapon within Madden. He's a unicorn, and he hasn't quite shown that in real life, but in Madden, we know that he's a dog, and I'm definitely going to have to account for him at all times. And on offense, he kind of shut me down, honestly, in our first game. Like, I really was very uncomfortable on offense that entire game. Granted, I think I'm playing a lot better now than I was, earlier in the season, but, he's still just got, like, a lot of got to handle. So, yeah, I don't take any offense to you having been as the favorite. I think that's totally fair. Going now to the final NFC matchup, which, I can kind of take the lead on because you're involved in it, but it is, Dom Monk! Oh, yes! This is a game to remember for Dom Monk. This is what launches AI players into the Hall of Fame right here. Bear down.
This will go forever into the archives.
Forever into the archives. But it is the Tampa Bay Bucks versus Cloud's Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'll be honest, I'm kind of talking out my ass because, I have not seen Cloud play a whole lot. I know that you're obviously, you've had a better season than your record indicates because of EA, because of the guy who, went to Yale for leadership management. Shout out to him. But I see that game as a total toss-up, personally. I really have no clue who's going to win. Warren saying Bucks 27, Cards 20. I don't hate that prediction at all. I'm going to give, ultimately, Dan, I'm going to, I think, give you the respect because of your previous, your far better recent playoff success compared to Cloud. I think, from an intangible perspective, I'd probably take you when it comes to being a dog in the playoffs, but man, Cloud can flood the field if he's feeling good, if he's playing well, and he's another guy who's pulled off a lot of upsets in the past. I think of him as well beating Little Alex. Not to pick on Little too much, but Cloud's done that, so it's going to be rough. Over a total. Alan saying that's going to be a good one. Yeah. Warren saying Dan league's better. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
That's a little toxic, but goddamn.
I kind of agree with Ben to taking the over on 80 because it's tough playing defense right now, and my defense plays anyway. If my defense is anything what it was against Matt, whether by my calling and my user and my run D, then Cloud's gonna put up at least 45, and it's just gonna be a friggin' track meet. But hopefully I can clamp it down. It's gonna be all about the run game and stopping some of his passing patterns.
It might feel like one of those Madden 22 playoff games where it's like first user you get a stop wins, like one of those just absolute back and forth, like just trading touchdowns until the end. Three interesting matchups. I think honestly 3 matchups that you could say could go either way. Despite Warren saying that your league's better, I think a little disrespectful to Cloud, but at the same time, you've had more recent playoff success, so I don't hate the take either. Dom Monk fighting for his life, but moving on now to the AFC. And Dan, we were talking a little bit, I can't remember if it was on mic or off mic, but we were talking a little bit about how 2 of these on paper should be blowouts. We'll talk about one of those first. The 2-seeded, soon to be 16. Well, actually, we don't know because that's a fair sim. But for now 15-1 Buffalo Bills versus Troy's Kansas City Chiefs. I do think Troy's gonna be able to keep it close for about a half, but end of the day, Little's too solid. Just way too solid, in my opinion.
Yeah. He has been very effective with Isaiah Pacheco this season, more so than any other. He got 19 touchdowns, 1,600 yards. I see him going run heavy, just trying to control the clock. And, that's what you do when you're the underdog and trying to pull an upset. But I'm sure Alex is just going to be a lot better. Make good decisions. Yeah. As long as Alex doesn't turn the ball over, he should win. Pretty easy.
I agree. As much as people like to talk about, Little Alex choking in the playoffs, it really doesn't happen until the Super Bowl. He's usually pretty rock solid before then. Warren saying Bills 49, Chiefs 21. Alan saying Cloud's running back is annoying. And yes, he is. He's been very successful. But also, Alan, and we were talking about this, I think he might be injured. I'm pretty sure.
I checked that.
You did?
Only Quentin Nelson's hurt, gotcha. Or whatever really good guard he has.
But that must have just been a game injury, though. I don't know what I was talking about. But, all right, he'll be in the game. 84 speed nightmare for Little to try to deal with, but ultimately, yeah, a little too solid. Phil saying 35-14 Bills. Again, I don't hate that prediction either. Moving on now to, I think, easily the most interesting AFC playoff matchup on paper. The 3 seed, Phil's 13-4 Denver Broncos. The 6 seed, DeHooties, Cleveland Browns. Again, Phil's already come in here and said that it's a very annoying matchup for him. He's going to need to be completely locked in if he wants to win. I don't disagree. This is a matchup I think we saw twice in Madden 23. As far as playoff games go, it's going to be really, really like who can establish their will on this game. Both of them are going to be pretty conservative on offense. Both of them are going to try to establish their dogs. Obviously, Bryce Wayne, someone who's on a Hall of Fame trajectory as a tight end, and then obviously DeHootie with his guys. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to give DeHootie the slight edge, but I mean, you could tell me anything for this game, and I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah. DeHootie, obviously very unique scheme. The only guy that's just going to live with RPOs and read options and all that. He's been doing that since before RPOs were even in the game with just read options back in Madden 17. So, but honestly, I got Phil in this. Phil has had a really great season. He's probably overperformed from what he usually does. And if he's really locked in and he's won a bunch of games in a row except for the game against you week 16. So I'll take him in it. If you win the division against Warren, you'll probably have a pretty good season. 13-4, I got him moving on.
There are a few users in this league who, when they get going, when they're able to fully establish their scheme, and when you're a step behind on defense, they feel truly unstoppable. And honestly, Phil's one of them. And you don't typically think of him as this truly elite offensive user on the level of the Warrens and Austins of the world, but when he's locked in, and I know people love you just gotta lock in and he'll be good, but he can be really, really tough to try to shut down. I'm interested to see what type of defensive scheme DeHootie throws at him, to try to shut down Phil's preferred reads, because that'll be very, very interesting. But talk about this game briefly. It was CMAS from the jump. It started with the pick 6, and it never got any better for Agenda. And it is going to be Morty's San Francisco 49ers that are able to claim the 7th seed. They will find themselves in Jerry World against Dallas, I guess on Friday. I don't know. But big shout out to, CMAS in Jerry World. He said he wanted to try as I can hear myself now, but big shout out to, CMAS. He said he wanted to try as I can hear myself now, but hold on.
Yeah, just mute my stream and you won't hear yourself twice.
That's hold on. Why I'm not the professional streamer, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the CEO. But we do have CMAS in here. He said he was coming in here to prove a point. He said he was coming in here to win this game. Not meaningless to him, and he delivered 56-14 over Agenda. How we feeling?
Feel pretty good. While it still was meaningless to me technically, but as soon as somebody said that somebody needed me to win so that Morty could get in, I was like, bro, I can't not win, right? So, this was also a little bit of a pride thing. Hey, I didn't make the playoffs because I took an extended vacation too. But just a reminder, hey, the Bears are still here. We're still good. So we'll be back. So be ready. Although a lot of things kind of went my way, I did have a nice couple defensive users, felt pretty good about. But I have a feeling the Green Bay Packers are going to be in the market for a quarterback in the offseason because first time we played, he was dotting me up, and we just made one small adjustment this time, and it made all the difference, and everything kind of went our way. And I wish I had Morty in the room with me, just sitting behind me, getting all hyped. And by all hyped, I mean just a solid one clapper, a pat on the back or a fist bump. But this game was for Morty, and then also a reminder to Better League that hey, the Bears are still around despite not making playoffs.
Morty was here watching the game. I think the only thing he put in the chat in terms of your game was just some eyes when he went up 14-zip. That was it.
That's all it's needed. Was it CMAS eyes though? Or I'm or was it regular eyes?
No, I think it was eyes just this is what I need. And he came through. And yeah, obviously, I think it's fair to say the only reason you're not going to be in these playoffs is because of that extended vacation. But despite that, obviously, every user has things to work on, whether it's from a user perspective, whether it's team building. What do you need to improve on in order to reach the promised lands that you want to reach next season?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the team's there. We could make some improvement. Obviously, the defensive line is pretty pretty stellar. Offensively, I mean, Dom Monk, where the hell? I mean, I've been trying to have him have a breakout game, and then today on BLN, the lights were on, and he was just like, "Give me the ball, coach." And he had himself a nice little breakout game there for the BL people to see that the kid's got talent. But as far as getting better, I think honestly, it's just a lot about just getting better at the game. Like I've made some dumb choices and stuff like that, and it's just I feel like just getting a better understanding of this game, because sometimes when I hear like the commentator, I'm like, oh really, that's like that this Madden? I probably should pay a little bit more attention. So while the passion of my league obviously is the camaraderie and also the building of the team, but I feel like I just need to get better at the game, and you can see me take that next step.
Yeah, I mean this not to continually shit on our conference, but the conference is pretty wide open if you do take that next step. Like, there's no reason why you can't make the Super Bowl run or two, so for sure. And I will always be afraid of the Chicago Bears, from a divisional perspective. Dan,
well, you've had my number, though, so far, I think.
So far, well, a Hail Mary pass interference here, a couple of
God,
there. Yeah.
Was that this season?
That was...
Or was that last?
That was last... Or, I'm sorry, that was this season in our first game.
Yeah,
I
think that's what I knew. I was like, yeah.
Dan, what do you got?
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I was just going to talk a little bit more about Dom Monk. I mean, we saw him just go off today. I think with that 99 speed, that's kind of the X factor that you have on your team that just kind of opens up the passing game, opens up the running game even if the cornerback's playing off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think just having that guy on the team just really helps you. Just talk a little bit about that. And I mean, he's only got 4 touchdowns before this game, only 4 touchdowns, 51 receptions, only 954 yards. I mean, if he keeps playing like that, he could be breaking some records.
Yeah, first year when I actually played the whole season, he was over 1,000 in decent yards. But I mean, that was I drafted him in the first round. He was like a 64 overall, but he came out superstar, so that was lucky. And then got X Factor breakout in like his first the training camp. So I was like, oh shit, okay, well. And it's just been deving him ever since, just working on because he actually is like a playmaker archetype, which why I keep him in returning kicks, because he breaks a tackle every time he's out there. So I love the kid. I have not been using him properly. I've been too kind of holding back on throwing it deep. Like if I see somebody, just give him a cushion. I'm like, screw it, nah, forget about it. I have to go back to the old days of the Drake London days, where it's like, fuck it, he's out there somewhere. So if I feel like if I see him on a corner, unless that corner is 99 speed or 97 speed, somewhere in that range, I need to start giving him a little bit more chances there, just so people can respect it a little more. Because even if you just take the shot and you don't hit it, just the fear of oh crap, he almost got that. I need to go back to a 2 safety set, and that opens up the run game and everything like that. So I do need to be a little bit more aggressive with him, and I got to bump those numbers up if this kid's got any chance of making the Hall of Fame. All I keep getting is Hall of Fame snubs. I can't get somebody in, so maybe Dom Monk breaks that streak. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, some could argue Don Washington's supposed to be in there. Maybe Dom Monk could be the guy that gets you in there. C-Mass, pretty much...
Corbin Caldwell, 158.3.
Maybe. Pretty much the entire second half we were just talking playoffs because the game was over at that point. I want to know from whether you commentate games, whether you're just sitting back and watching, which of the 6 wildcard matchups are you most interested in, just from a fan perspective?
Let's take a look at what's out there. Give me 1 second to get out of this game.
For sure.
Well, I can tell you, I will be looking at the Morty one, because if I blew him the fuck out and made him almost want to quit BL so I can get Morty in the playoffs, he better not, drop a ball and lose. So definitely be paying attention to this Morty one. Let's see what else is going on. All right, here we go.
I can tell you the matchup because I'm not sure if they're right on.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay. I'm looking at it right now. Now the viewers can see it if you're even still on my stream. But anyways, okay, yeah, Bills Chiefs, that's a blowout. Broncos Browns, that's interesting, because you know what, obviously a lot of people hate playing Dahootie. I love playing Dahootie, honestly. I just feel like it's the real the closest thing to football, actually playing somebody that knows how to play football.
It's a chess match, yeah, for sure.
And nothing, no offense to anybody else, but obviously he's got some real life football experience. But then there's Phil, who I feel like Phil is a very underrated adjustment type of user. He can make adjustments pretty quickly, and if he's played you before, he's able to pick up on it fairly quickly, so he knows what's coming. The problem is that he'll have to rely a lot on his defense, his artificial intelligence defense. So it'll be tough, but I think that's a good one. That'll be a fun one. That might be one of those old school 9-6 wins or something like that. So I like that one. Texans Chargers, that's a blowout. Falcons Packers, what the hell?
Those are wrong. Yeah. So for the NFC, it's Alex versus Morty, it's me versus Ben, and then it's Dan versus Cloud. Those are the 3 matchups.
Oh man, those are all good, except for maybe the Dan Cloud one. I feel like Dan should handle that one fairly simple. Although it kind of depends on what Cloud you get, because sometimes Cloud can get locked in.
Nah, Cloud's here. Should be a good one.
You still there, C-Mass? I think your audio cut out. Oh, Lord. Well, C-Mass might not be here anymore, but Dan, there was one matchup that we did not talk about, and it's King versus Warren. I mean, do you see this going any way other than a Warren blowout?
Not really. I should be not very competitive.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I think, the only 2 matchups, I think his internet may have just gone down because his stream just went down all of a sudden, but the only 2 matchups where I feel confident calling a winner is Little versus Troy and then Warren versus King. Both of those I think will be blowouts, but the other 4, shoot, could go either way. Yeah. And I don't know. Apparently, I'm on a bit of an island in terms of my respect for Cloud, but I think Cloud could give you a game 100%.
No, I completely respect Cloud. I don't know what that was all about.
For sure.
I expect it to be a good game, good competitive game. He's been very kind of had a breakout this season as a user and with his team.
Yeah.
So when Cloud is having fun and he's got the team he likes, he's going to be a force.
When he puts in Vance 15 minutes into the Vance period, that's when you know he's locked in and he's ready.
Exactly.
He's ready to get this going. Dan, we'll kind of wrap things up here. Any final thoughts? First off, are you calming me versus Ben still? Is that still your plan?
Yeah, I intend to do that. Cody's here. Maybe I'll just do it myself. I don't know. But it should be fun. Playoff football. I gotta just get the commentary booths going and just enjoy the ride.
Yes, sir. And thank you. Not to completely ignore them. Thank you for Am I Here? Am I Here Too? For the follow. We appreciate you because there's a lot more Better League Network playoff action coming down the pipe over these next couple days. Much love to y'all.